Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club. I recently lost my Instagram account, unfortunately, so I have a new Instagram account. If you would like to follow along, you can find me at Nikki Claire Creates, and you'll see all my creations there. Okay, so today I'm designing for Hip Kit Club. I am using the main kit only, so I'm still on the March kits and I'm using the main kit only for this one. Now unfortunately I forgot to turn on my camera before I started this layout. Honestly, what a numpty. You can see that I'm partway through already. I haven't done much. All I've done is trim my 12 by 12 cardstock down a little bit to about 11.5, and I've put it onto the black gingham background, which I love so much. It's one of my favourite papers. It's from the Hey Hello collection, and I've made a tear at the top. In the end, I don't use that piece of white card. I go for something completely different because I just couldn't make it work. And my plan is today to use 3 little photos of my boy who's just turned 7 in lockdown, and therefore no birthday party. We just had a celebration at home. This slightly different to what I would normally be scrapbooking for one of my child's birthdays, but you know, you have to make the best of this situation, don't you? And we had a great day. So I thought I would document this. So I'm using the main kit only, and unfortunately this assignment came towards the end of the month, so I've used most of my kit already. I really wish I could get these assignments at the beginning of the month, or that I had the foresight to make these layouts first prior to using all of my kit on all the other layouts that I make throughout the month as well. But there you go. So I am working with limited supplies. But thankfully I have most of the Jen Hadfield Hey Hello ephemera, and of course there's lots of papers and things in the kit, so I've got plenty to work with really. Okay, so I am using this white background. I've got my 3 little photos, one of which I've trimmed into a circle, and my plan is to create some clusters on the layout in a horizontal design. And I really like the Jen Hadfield Hey Hello collection because it had lots of birthday things in it, and this was a birthday layout, so absolutely loads of excellent things in the ephemera that worked really well with this birthday layout that I wanted to make. So you can see that I'm kind of forming my clusters there. I've got 3 photos, so I'll probably end up with 3 clusters. That cake is bothering me. I was trying to make it a standalone piece, but I just can't work out where it should go, and I think the biggest problem is the big tear at the top of the page, because that takes away some of the height that I can put in my clusters. So I fiddle around with this for quite some time before I decide exactly what I'm going to do. So at this point I'm just working out, I'm just looking around, trying to figure out if I'm happy with how it's looking, if I wanted to add some more colour. So I just, the tear at the top was really bothering me. I decided to try and add some yellow in there as well, so by taking a piece of one of the pattern papers with the sunshines all over it, and adding an extra torn layer there. So I put that in and I still don't like it, so soon I literally start again, but you know, I rarely ever make a layout that I really hate. I normally spend some time getting there and making something that I'm pleased with. So that tear was really bothering me. I thought it would be a nice design feature, but it just wasn't working out for me. So in the end I've totally ditched that piece of cardstock, and I've pulled out a new one. I have just trimmed it down to 11.5 inches wide, and then I've left a big wide border at the bottom, just so some of that fabulous black and white gingham paper is on display. So I have this layout now. It's kind of, I was going to say it's a grid style, but it's really not, but it has 3 very distinct clusters going on there, and they're not quite finished yet either, and then I have this very right angle box of white on my background, which is kind of the look I'm going for. I'm aiming for like a clean and simple style layout for this one. rather than messy. I thought I would just add a little something to that bottom edge, and I've gone for a strip of the Paige Evans Bloom Street paper with the hearts all over it, but I picked the pinky colour strip of hearts so that it matched in with some of the colours that I've used on the layout as well. Okay, so I'm pretty much there. I'm happier, much happier with it looking as it does now, rather than with that tear at the top. I'm happy with my cluster on the left and the right, and I just need to get this middle one right. So I've cut this photo of my boy down to a circle, and I've put that inside 2 other circles from the ephemera, and I have the 2 circles on either side in the 2 clusters there, so it's real aiming for circles here. I often don't use circles. I mean, I tuck them in behind layers, but I don't generally use them as features, and I certainly don't put circular photos on layouts. So this is a little bit different for me, but I actually really love how it turned out, and I like the clean and simple look, because my layouts generally have tons and tons of stuff on them, and sometimes it is nice just to strip it back. Although I seem to this layout seemed to take longer to put together than a really busy one. So I struggle to rock the clean and simple look, but I get there eventually. Okay, so I'm just pulling out some tags there. I've got a couple of tags from the Jen Hadfield set. A lot of the things in the ephemera didn't work for this layout, because even though there was lots of birthday stuff, there was also lots of other things as well, so thank yous and sympathy and thinking of you and things like that. Really great for cards, but I'm not making cards, I'm making a scrapbook layout today, so I just had to be careful the way that I use them. I generally covered over the sentiments that didn't really work, but still managed to bring in the colours and the shapes of things without actually showing the details of the sentiments. So the best of both worlds, really. So with this middle cluster that I've taken so long to figure out, I have got 2 kind of tags. Both of them say things that don't really work with the layout. They're not too bad. I mean, one says from me to you, and the other one says make something, I don't know, I can't even read it anymore, but they didn't really work, and I covered them over. I have and then the top one says congrats. That's a little pink one at the top. Now he's only 7, so it's not like a big birthday or anything, but it's still it was still a bit of fun. Sorry that I keep sticking my head in. I'm actually chatting to some friends on like Zoom or house party app thing, so I keep leaning over to chat to them. I'm forgetting that I'm filming, so sorry about that. But how are you guys all doing? Are you all connecting in with friends, scrapbooking with friends? I found it really awesome, to be honest. Really great to be able to scrap along with my friends. Feels like I'm at my crop, so it's been really lovely. Just a different way of doing things. I'm at home instead of in my hall, but you know, we have to adapt, right? Okay, so I'm pretty much there with my clusters. I've even got my gold thread in. I'm just sticking my layout down to the background and putting in that little pink strip there. Like I said, I'm pretty much there. I've got my 3 main clusters in. I'm happy with the arrangement of everything. So now I would normally turn to embellishments, but of course I don't have many because I've used them all. I'm a little limited, but I do manage to bring in a few bits and pieces. But first of all, I'm going to work on my title. So I've gone for Super 7 with the help of a friend on Zoom who helped me work that out. I couldn't think of anything other than Sensational 7 for some reason, and that was too long, so we ended up with Super 7, which works really well. I've gone for one word on the left cluster and 1 word on the right cluster, and I'm just trying to curve them round. Now, getting that curve exactly in the same kind of curve as the circles themselves was a bit challenging because they're quite blocky letters, it was quite difficult, so I rearranged them a few times. What I wished I could have done was do super above the left circle and 7 below the right circle, but with the cake there and the little hooray banner that I've got there already, I didn't think it would work out, so I went for them both over the top, which I think looks okay. So I'm just still adding some bits and pieces from the ephemera pack. Oh sorry, there's me chatting again. I'm just I've added a couple more flowers that I could find, and now I'm still rearranging my letters, and then I'm going to actually sew through them when I'm happy with their position, because these chipboard letters tend to pop off the page at a later date, just because they're rigid. They don't have any flexibility, so when the paper flexes they tend to ping off. So I tend to stick them down with some serious glue like Glossy Accents, or I tend to stitch through them, because then they really can't go anywhere. So that just preserves them for later date really. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with my title. I was looking now at adding the word fun from the Paige Evans Bloom Street puffy title stickers, but I decided against that in the end, and I just pulled out a couple of hearts and a frond leaf in pink, and added those in instead. So I'm just going to write my journaling in now. So this has become a design feature of my layout because it's quite long, and it actually pulls the whole layout down towards the bottom edge of that white. I've done it in a black pen. I normally write in a grey journaling pen, but on this occasion there were pops of black in this layout, so I thought I'd go for the black pen. Also, I wanted my journaling to stand out because I wanted it to be a design feature of the layout rather than just a few little words tucked in somewhere that weren't really designed to be part of the actual design itself. So I'm just filling in my story and finishing off there, I need to put the date in, but I didn't really want to put it at the bottom, so I've just curved that around the left hand circle. Okay, so I have just stitched through my letters there, and that is me done. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this main kit only layout has inspired you just to play around with the bits and pieces from the main kit. And don't forget that if you are a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price. You get a 15% discount on all add-on kits, and you get access to an exclusive cut files. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. That was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.